Hi everybody, Wildcat Hills Naturalist here with a little heads up on hummingbird feeders and risks to pollinators. Maybe this is common knowledge, but I just wanted to share it. For the last couple of years, I've been using what I'll call a tray, a plate design hummingbird feeder, which I really like. It's got some advantages to it compared to, say, probably the most popular design that involves these reservoirs where the opening is down here, and you basically have to flip them over and unscrew this bottom portion to, replace the liquid, the nectar, clean it, etc. And that was always a mess, at least for me. Maybe I'm just clumsy, but these have a nice design to them. They're small. They hold a smaller quantity of the nectar that you make, the sugar water. And so if you're in a warm time of year and you need to replace that frequently, you're not wasting as much of it. It claims an more an insect-proof design in terms of insects on the top, because, and this is what's going to end up being the problem, the liquid level is significantly lower than the hole level. And so the hummingbirds don't have any issue penetrating through that distance and getting to the liquid. But the bigger the bees and the wasps that some people don't want to attract with these things can't access it. So that's one of the selling points, and I do think that's true. I've never had a big bee or wasp problem, except in unusual circumstances where it doesn't really matter what design there is, and it's usually honeybees. But that does seem to be a feature of this, and really easy. You just pop this lid off to access and clean, and filling it is very easy. You just put the tray down, you fill it, you pop the lid on. It's got a rigid rod there that makes reaching a hook very nice. So in many ways it's an effective design, and a lot less messy, at least for me, compared to this reservoir design. Again, because you don't have to flip it over, and when you do that, when you've got, the first time you fill it from empty, it's not that big a deal. You just screw the bottom on, and then you flip the whole thing over, and you don't usually get a lot of spillage. But when it comes time to cleaning it out, it's often a lot messier because you flip it over, so this is on the top, but there's still a bunch of liquid in there. And again, maybe I'm just clumsy or had the wrong design. But the key issue is really how this design, at least at my location, has ended up being a real pollinator death trap. So let me show you what I mean. My highly scientific experiment here, just to kind of show, same location with these two designs, out for maybe 6 days here in late June, early July in western Nebraska, and of course you can already see the bugs in this one already. So same location here, and let's take a look what the result was. So we pull the tray feeder down, and just a huge number of insects in there, and most of these are valuable pollinators, and that's really what's distressing. Of course, we're increasingly recognizing the important role of our native pollinators. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. These are mostly small wasps, some bees in here. These are all flying insects. I don't even see an ant in here, so no, I'm not very good about keeping the ant moat filled. And with some of my other locations, that's an issue, but these are all flying insects, mostly bees and wasps, as I said, and they are drawn in and can easily fit through the small access holes, but they can't get out, and they end up drowning, and so really ends up being a pollinator death trap. I don't mean to sound overly exaggerating it. Here's the other model here, not as easy to see, so I poured the contents through screener here, and you can see that yes, there are some bugs. I won't zoom in on it. Again, mostly small wasps and bees there, but nothing like the other one in terms of a comparison there. So it's got to be 4 or 5 times as many in this one. So there doesn't appear to be any design that makes it impossible. But when you think about how this one works, the liquid level is pretty much right there at the hole level, if you will. And that's what supposedly makes this design more attractive to the bees and the wasps on the outside that this model was supposed to be avoiding. But I think it also deters the smaller pollinators from going inside the feeder and being trapped and drowning there. So really no question, at least in terms of the two designs. So let's take a look at just a couple others that I've got located on my property. I've got 4 or 5 of these things that I'm going to now be replacing with some form of the, I don't know what you call it, the reservoir design, the flip over design, just because I just don't want to have all these pollinators being killed. So here's this one here. Huge number. Now some of these are ants, and had I done a better job of keeping the ant moat filled, that would have avoided most of those casualties. But in fact, really, ants aren't a major part of this. Zoom in a little bit. We've got a fair number of pollinating, or I presume anyway, beetles. I think obviously honeybees in the past have gotten the lion's share of attention, and then our native bees and wasps, and now we're giving the proper credit to our other insect pollinators, including bees and flies. And so you've got a pretty good mix here, but I'm assuming anything drawn to this sugar water mix would be attracted to sweet smelling flowering plants and doing their pollinating work, but end of the line here in terms of this particular design. So here's another location, the other side of the property. Same story. One on the other side of the property, just trying to give a variety of kind of micro environments here. Same story. And then one kind of more of an open grassland location, and again, same story there. Again, some beetles. This is a some sort of yucca beetle, I believe. So you can imagine it's doing its work on the yucca at our particular location. So bottom line, seems that this is, for all its good qualities, and there certainly are some, if you're concerned about pollinators, this is probably a design to avoid. It won't take you very long, as you'll see here, if maybe your location is different, and for whatever reason your insect buffet is very different, and you're not attracting them this way, and in which case this feeder has some things to recommend it. But if you do have some of these, that's going to be an issue, and so just wanted to bring that to folks' attention. A lot of folks who feed hummingbirds, I think, are also concerned and want to support our pollinators out there. And this particular design, in at least some specific locations like mine, is going to put a real dent in them. So, all right, signing off.